don't have a sense of community. We don't even have communities where we got a black neighborhoods, and black neighborhoods have no covering like a roof, which would be your sense of community and sense of togetherness that was taken from you during slavery. You can't protect it. Whites can come in and do anything they want to take all your land from you. That's what gentrification is about. Gentrification is going to go into every one of these cities and strip it because blacks have no code of conduct. They don't have a protective covering. They have no black leadership. The black civil rights leaders out looking out for everybody but black folk. And so right now they are very vulnerable. I feel sorry for our people in many respects, to answer your question.
Well, you guys, that was pretty heavy, and I think it tells us what we got to work on in the next generation. You know, I think it's you know, I think that we got a long way to go, but I know that I'll tell you, Dr. Anderson, there's a lot of people that you and I, you know, I'm sure you see them as well. You know, when you go around the world, there's a lot of people I think that are tired of this. You know, if you're tired of this, say it. Just say I'm tired of this. You know, if you want something different, say it. You know, just you say it out loud, speak it to the universe, because we had, that's the first step in us making a change, making a difference. And what I've encouraged everybody to do, Dr. Anderson, is start with your own family. Start with what happens in your household. That is your community. That's the first black community you're born into, and it's up to you to decide how the community is going to be governed, what kind of education is going to happen, how the wealth is going to bounce around within your family, how you are going to shape the values and systems within your organization. Your family is your first community, your first corporation, your first everything, if that's what you choose it to be. So I'm encouraging everybody, start at home. I've given you blueprints on what to do with your family at home. I'm actually working on that book I told you guys about on Black Economic Codes of Conduct. I'm a consultant with Dr. to get his take on this as well, so that we can have structure in our households so that we can form stronger communities because we have stronger families. We're in a rebuilding phase. It's going to take time, but I know that we can do this. You know, Dr. Anderson, I'll tell you this, and this will be the last point, and I'll let you, you can go after this. But you know, I was watching yesterday. I watched this video. You know, Alicia, that, you know, my woman, you know, the woman I love. You know, we were out running. She's got me training for this marathon. I'm mortified because I ain't never run that far in my life. But we're out there running. We were listening to a lecture by Jeff Bezos, the richest man in the world. He owns Amazon.com. He's worth $150 billion. And he gave a speech about the future of space travel. And he laid out his blueprint for how we would actually live on either on other planets or just live in space. Actually, they're not even talking about living on other planets. They're actually talking about building entire cities in space with just a giant ship that'll hold 1 million people, where they can replicate, you know, the environment and everything else. And so he was talking about something that we can't even do now. There's so far in the future. He said, we're talking about 200 years in the future. He said, but in order to build the world you want to see, you have to start with where you are, with what you have, and build the infrastructure so the next generation will have the tools necessary to move forward. So he talked about how, he said, look, when I built Amazon.com, I had to have infrastructure. He said, we couldn't afford to create a postal service, but the US Postal Service was already there. That was part of our infrastructure. We already had the roads, we had the internet, we had the technology. All that infrastructure was built in previous generations so that we could build on top of that infrastructure. So what I say for the Black community is that for us to realize a vision that's going to make us great and strong 200 years from now, 150 years from now, it's up to us right now to build the infrastructure.